The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Motorists are advised to plan their trips ahead as heavy traffic is expected tomorrow. That's because of the FIBA World Cup opening day and the long weekend. Let's bring in Gio Robles, who's reporting to us live from NLEX Balintawak. Gio, how many motorists are expected to turn up on NLEX tomorrow?
Denise, glad to see you. Well, if you are traveling outside Metro Manila going north, well, brace for heavy traffic as over 420,000 vehicles are expected on NLEX tomorrow, Friday. That's more than 100,000 than the usual vehicle volume because of the FIBA World Cup and the long weekend. NLEX Senior Manager for Traffic Operations, Robin Ignacio, advised motorists plan your trips ahead. For province-bound motorists, you might want to depart later this afternoon or in the evening to avoid the influx of motorists. Major traffic along Balintawak Toll Plaza, Mindanao Toll Plaza, and Karuhatan Toll Plaza are expected tomorrow. To avoid this, you might want to take Marilao, Bukawe, or Tambumbong exits all the way to Santa Maria in Bulacan as your alternate routes. Reminders to those attending the FIBA World Cup opening at the Philippine Arena, only RFID lanes will be available at the Ciudad de Victoria Toll Plaza, which is the entry point to the venue. Gates will be open starting 12 noon tomorrow, so be early. Roads leading to the Philippine Arena will be closed to the public by 5:30 in the afternoon. Organizers say that entry will only be allowed for P2P buses offering free rides to ticket holders and even FIBA-accredited vehicles. Meantime, the Interagency Council for Traffic, or IAC, stressed that no special treatment would be given to FIBA delegates traveling through the EDSA busway. IAC Chief Charlie Del Rosario said that buses loading and unloading passengers will still be prioritized before FIBA-designated vehicles can pass through. Here's what IAC Chief Charlie Del Rosario had to say over the matter.
Pag po nagkasabay ang isang bus na nagbababa sa isang istasyon at meron pong delegate sa likuran at hindi po pwedeng mag-overtake dahil nga ho safety, yung pong safety ng ating mga mananakay ang uunahin. At gagalawin po kaagad yung bus na nasa harapan, na bus carousel, kung natapos na pong mag-unload at load. Hindi po mamadaliin dahil lagi nating isipin na yung kapakanan at seguridad ng ating mga mananakay ang priority po natin.
Denise, here's a quick look at EDSA Balintawak Toll Plaza. As of 4:33 p.m., you're looking at a heavy buildup of vehicles both on the RFID and the cash lanes at this time. Denise, that's the latest here at EDSA Balintawak. Back to you for now.
Gio Robles there, giving us the latest situation on the road from NLEX Balintawak. One basketball analyst considers the final Gilas lineup for the FIBA World Cup as one of the best Philippine teams ever. Here's a story.
Gilas Pilipinas is all set for their campaign for the FIBA World Cup. Yesterday, the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas bare the team's roster for the Worlds, which will begin this Friday. Naturalized guard Jordan Clarkson headlines the Pinoy squad, which will be reinforced by national team veterans Junmar Fajardo and team captain Japeth Aguilar. This will be Abay and Japeth's third straight appearance in the World Cup. Also in the team are CJ Perez, Kiefer Ravena, and RR Pugoy, who all had seen action in 2019. A mix of old and new also comprises the lineup as first-timers Scotty Thompson, Dwight Ramos, Jamie Malonzo, and Renza Bando are also included. Kai Soto and AJ Edu moved up the senior rank, having played in the national youth team as well. Basketball analyst and Batang Gilas assistant coach Enzo Flojo believes this roster is one of the best ever assembled in the country's history.
Pinakamalapit na dito would be the 2014 World Cup team, where first time natin makita si Andre Blatch, no? That was a really strong team. Iba yung strengths nito eh. Balansyado rin to. But we're longer because of AJ, Japeth, and Kai all together. We have a more mature Junmar in the paint.
Recall that Raj Cotorman, who coached the earliest editions of the Gilas program, is also impressed by the Gilas pool. He said the team's size, experience, and exposure to the international scene will all be helpful in Gilas' campaign. Even Aguilar, who had played for the national team since 2009, says the current team's talent is off the charts. He even compared it to the 2014 team, which brought the country's first FIBA victory in 4 decades.
Totally different tong team na to. May samahan kami noong 2014. May samahan din naman kami ngayon. Pero talent-wise, I feel like mas talented yung mga guys ngayon.
Flojo says Gilas' group mates, the Dominican Republic, Angola, and Italy are all tough, but he's confident of the team's chances.
If we make under 7 threes, not gonna win. But if we make mga 10 and above, tapos wala tayong turnover masyado, I think we have a good chance to beat those two teams. And maybe even on a good day, we can stick and stay within striking distance even of Italy.
Gilas opens its campaign against the Dominican Republic tomorrow, Friday, at the Philippine Arena in Bulacan. You can catch the game live here on Signal and the Pilipinas Live app.
In other news, the distribution of fuel subsidy for public utility vehicles will begin next week. The government has allotted almost 3 billion pesos for the aid, expected to benefit over 1.64 million PUVs. Drivers and operators of traditional jeepneys will receive 6,500 pesos, while those with modern jeepneys and UV Express units will get 10,000 pesos each. On the other hand, motorcycle taxis and delivery service riders are entitled to a 1,200 peso fuel subsidy, while tricycle drivers will get 1,000 pesos in gas reprieve. More stories coming your way after a quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Senator Risa Hontiveros appeals for higher intelligence funds for the Philippine Coast Guard. According to the minority member, if there's an agency deserving of more budget, it would be the PCG. Hontiveros noted that Coast Guard personnel are evidently facing danger amid aggressions as they safeguard the country's coastal waters and islands. At present, the PCG has a 10 million peso intelligence fund.
This is where confidential and intelligence funds should be allocated. This is where our money should go. The PCG actually is facing a clear and present danger. Ang organisasyon tulad ng PCG ang dapat binibigyan ng mga confidential at intelligence funds. Hindi yung mga ahensyang sibilyan na wala namang kinakaharap na pagbabanta at panganib.
Time to check on the day's global headlines. Russia's Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin is presumed dead after figuring in a plane crash in Moscow. Russian authorities said Prigozhin was on board a plane that crashed on Wednesday evening. There were reportedly at least 10 people on board, including his right hand, Dmitry Utkin. Supporters of Prigozhin are blaming Russia for the crash. In June, the Wagner Group staged a mutiny that earned the ire of Russian President Vladimir Putin. North Korea's second attempt to place a spy satellite in orbit fails. North Korean media said the rocket booster experienced a problem in the emergency blasting system during its third stage. The nuclear-armed country has been seeking to create a fleet of satellites in orbit to monitor moves by the US and South Korean troops. North Korea will again try to put up a spy satellite in October. An Indian spacecraft becomes the first to land on the rugged, unexplored South Pole of the Moon. The Indian Space Research Organization shared photographs of the lunar surface taken by its Chandrayaan-3. The spacecraft is expected to remain functional for 2 weeks to run a series of experiments. India's successful second attempt to land a spacecraft on the moon comes barely a week after Russia's Luna 25 mission failed. Fresh off their heartbreaking loss to Vietnam 2, the Choco Mucho Flying Titans staged a comeback against South Korea's Suwon City in the VTV Cup. Down 2-0, the Philippine representatives went to second gear and won the 3 ensuing frames. Final score was 16-25, 22-25, 25-19, 25-17, and 15-11 for Choco Mucho. The Titans ended the elimination round of the tournament with a 3-2 win-loss record. Before Korea, the Pinays also defeated Japan and Australia. This is good for the third seed ahead of the semifinals on Friday. Shares of footwear retailer Dick's Sporting Goods slumped after it slashed its full-year profit. The company also missed its second quarter goals. More from this Reuters video.
Shares of Dick's Sporting Goods lost as much as a quarter of their value after the retailer posted a drop in profits and slashed its earnings outlook. The footwear giant said in its earnings report on Tuesday that second quarter profit was hit by retail theft, or as it's known in the business, inventory shrink. While Dick's Sporting Goods did not specify whether the theft was organized retail crime, the company is one of several, including Target, that has seen profits and margins suffer due to inventory shrink. It's also among the many retailers that have been looking for ways to cut costs as margins are squeezed by soaring supply chain and labor expenses. The company on Monday cut jobs at its customer support center and said it would incur a severance pay expense of around $20 million in the current quarter. Shares of the retailer, which were on track for their worst day ever on Tuesday, dragged down shares of its rivals, including Foot Locker, Lululemon Athletica, and Under Armour.
Tennis great Serena Williams has given birth to her second child. The new member of the Williams family is a baby girl named Adira River Ohanian. Williams made the announcement on social media through a TikTok video that shows her, her husband, and their 4-year-old daughter Olympia all embracing the newborn. The 23-time Grand Slam champ said she's evolving away from tennis after last year's US Open. One News Now will be back at 6 p.m. with the day's latest stories. I'm Denise Tan, and don't forget the most anticipated basketball showcase is happening tomorrow as the FIBA World Cup finally kicks off. Support Gilas, support Team Pilipinas, watch and buy tickets to the biggest sports event of the year. Let us all rally behind the national team.